Hey, Pastor Mark Conforti here with another Cheerwine Chat. I grabbed a Cheerwine. How about you grab one too? We've heard such wonderful feedback about worship over the past month. What a joy it is to gather in the sanctuary together for worship and also to gather via the live stream worship. One of the most wonderful features of worship is music. And I wanted to sit down and chat with Josh Starnes, our church's director of music and organist, and I thought you might like to hear what Josh has to say. Take a listen. Well, Josh, welcome to Cheerwine Chat.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
it. Awesome. So we're so excited to be back in the sanctuary on Sunday mornings for worship. We're excited for live streaming to work. It's been quite a time. And it's amazing to think that you've been with the church since August, but almost entirely worship via video, some in-person services, those Vesper services on the lawn, but just recently getting into a rhythm for Sunday morning. What's that been like for you?
It's been kind of an interesting roller coaster ride, as it were. I mean, coming here in August, moving out of state to be closer to my parents, moving from Virginia, that is, and then all in the middle of a pandemic. I don't think any of us could have envisioned 2020 to be what it turned out to be. So I'm grateful to be here, but I was telling some of the staff and even some people the Sunday after Easter when we were back in-person services back in the sanctuary, it almost felt like my first Sunday, even though I've been here for a few months already. But finally getting to put names with faces, just rolling with the punches as each of us are. But I'm so grateful to be here, and it's been such an exciting opportunity as we've all tried to learn new things in the midst of the pandemic and minister and see what new form worship takes on even in the midst of this time together.
Well, speaking of things taking on a new form in the midst of the pandemic, due to the COVID-19 precautions, we're needing to change our approach to music. So tell us more about that.
Well, of course, since the pandemic began, we've tried to be cognizant of the guidelines set forth by all of our state and local authorities, and also in addition to Bishop Leland's advisories. But another resource that we've also carefully considered is a study called Resuming Cure-Filled Worship and Sacramental Life During a Pandemic. And this is a study that's sponsored by the Ecumenical Consultation on Protocols for Worship, Fellowship, and Sacraments. So in consultation with all of these studies, the different advisories that have been going on, our decisions have all been made in concert with the church leadership team and also our reentry task force. So a lot of the changes that many of us have noticed immediately is we haven't been able to sing congregational hymns and have a lot of singing in general in the services. So when we first started worship online, it was usually just me and maybe a couple of other musicians, all socially distanced, and trying to lead worship that way in music. And it's been a unique challenge, but I'm grateful for the gifts of the people here in the church and the grace that continues to abide. And everyone's been so kind and so gracious and understanding of things. And, it's been a struggle for some of us, but we're just pushing right on through, and we're grateful for all that God has done and is continuing to do, and that we have such great tools to utilize in this. But even as we've changed our approach to music, it's still such an important part of our worship. And we're looking forward to, even as we move forward, to allowing more of those opportunities, particularly with congregational participation in worship.
Because we all love those congregational hymns. We're saving our singing for the very end of the service. That way, just in case there are germs floating in the air, we're all exiting the space. So when do you imagine us having more congregational singing with those hymns?
Well, certainly. I mean, music is such an integral part of our Christian worship, and so many times in scriptures we see admonitions for sing to the Lord and to one another. And so I am just as excited as anybody else about being able to have more congregational singing. And so some of the figures that we've been receiving, conservative estimates state that a return to full congregational singing as we knew it before the pandemic won't happen until about 70 to 85% of the population is fully vaccinated. Now, we're a long way away from that figure, but no worries. We're slowly starting to roll out more opportunities for congregational singing. in our services. So I'm hopeful that maybe later this summer and even in the fall, we can slowly start to roll out more of those measures to allow the congregation to participate more fully in singing and in the liturgy of the church.
Speaking of hymns, I know that you're always interested in receiving feedback from people, including their input about hymns. So how could people get in touch with you if they have an idea for a hymn or a favorite hymn that is meaningful?
Of course. If you've seen the latest copy of the May Ecclesia, you'll notice that there's a little tidbit in there. We're trying to start a congregational hymn survey, as it were. Singing our heart songs is what we're calling it. And I'd love to hear some of the more meaningful songs that you've sung in church, or just even privately in your devotional life, whether it's an ancient hymn of the faith or even some more modern and contemporary songs. We want to have the congregation's input on what is most meaningful in serving and ministering to one another. But feel free to either call me, or you can email me at josh@fumcsalisbury.org. And in that, we'll take that feedback into consideration as we plan worship and plan music to use in the services, because we want it to be a meaningful time for all of us gathered together.
Yeah. At First United Methodist of Salisbury, we deeply appreciate the liturgy and all of the elements that contribute to making the worship experience significant. And of course, part of that is choral music and a repertoire that covers a broad variety of composers. And we're looking forward to having the choir again.
Yes, we are.
Are you imagining what are our next steps for more choral music?
Well, we're really excited to begin offering summer choir this year. So on June the 13th, we're inviting anyone who wishes to participate to join us at 10 o'clock, an hour before the service starts, each week in the music suite. And we'll learn an easy and accessible choral anthem that we can sing together. We'll present it at the service that day at 11 o'clock. And then in order to be more hospitable and opening it up to people of all ages and abilities, because it's so warm during the summertime, we're taking a slightly more informal approach as we start to get back into choral singing. So we won't be wearing choir robes. So you'll come and you'll sing with us, and then you can go down and sit and worship with your family in the congregation for the remainder of the service. So if you're not able to join us one week, that's okay. It's very low commitment, but we want to offer the opportunity for everyone to participate if they feel so led. So it'll be a great time of fellowship and music making together that we're really excited about offering.
Terrific. So that's June 13th.
At 10 a.m. in the music.
Starts 10 a.m. meeting in the music suite to rehearse the anthem for that service coming up. Terrific. Okay. What about handbells?
Well, we're very blessed to have 3 octaves of handbells here at First Methodist, and we just recently had all 3 octaves of our handbells sent off and professionally refurbished by the manufacturer Schulmerich in Hatfield, Pennsylvania. We just recently got them back, and so those handbells are older than I am, but now they look and sound almost brand new. So we're really excited about getting to share that with the congregation again. And so we're looking forward to resuming many of our music rehearsals, including handbells and Chancel Choir and children's music. This fall, we're looking at after Labor Day weekend is when we'll get back into the swing of things as the school year starts back up. So we invite everybody to come and participate as they're able and feel led. But if you sing or even play an instrument, please be sure to reach out and let me know, because I'd love to get you plugged in for Sunday morning worship.
All right. So you say that anybody. Now, some have extraordinary talent and some are novices. So when you say everybody's welcome, do you really mean everybody?
I do. I mean, we all have something to learn. And so we're all going to grow together as best we can. And Scripture tells us to make a joyful noise unto the Lord. So that is a command for all of God's creation. So we want to offer that as best we can, certainly with excellence, but we're all going to grow together in music making and discipleship together. And we're excited about those opportunities.
Excellent. Well, Josh, thank you for your marvelous contribution, your giftedness, and offering it as your love for God and for the ministry of the church. And it's a blessing to get to serve with you. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.